Hello and welcome to another episode of GIS Answers. Today what we'll be looking at is further details on how to export to a shapefile, some further options and flexibility. So please subscribe to the channel if you're not a member, and welcome to the channel. So we'll get right into this. What I have is landmarks for the city of Miami downloaded from the City of Miami Open Data website. And they're landmark points, and they represent parks, schools, businesses, restaurants, museums, libraries, and other points of interest. We also have the world imagery and the hybrid reference layer in the table of contents. So we're going to look at this data in more detail, and we're going to open in the attribute table, and we have the landmark name, we have the address, we have fire ID zone, a police ID zone, we have the city ID, which would be Miami. And there's some other attribute fields I'm not really sure about. But then there's one, the landmark classification name. So this is where we have things like schools, parks, restaurants, and such classifications. And what I want to do is I want to select all the parks within this layer. And what we're going to do after selecting them, we're going to export them to its own park layer. So we'll click on that field and select by attributes. We want it to be a new selection. We want to select the land class name, and we want to select all the parks. So anything with the classification park. So we're going to click OK. We have 104 parks selected out of the 765 landmarks, points of interest. So what we want to do, we want to create our own layer just called parks. We want to create our own shapefile. So we're going to right click on the landmark layer, data, export features. We want to find a folder to export to. That's going to be the Miami landmarks folder that I've created before. And we're going to call it parks. Now, there are more options where we can remove some fields that we don't need. Perhaps maybe we don't need the city because we know it's the city of Miami. Fire, police, and tow ID. I'm not really sure what that could be, and I'm not sure about security. Don't really need those attribute fields. So before I export, I want to go to an environment. Perhaps landmarks. I think it's it's a WGS 84. But let's say somebody else you're working with, or a system that you're working with, needs the file exported in a different coordinate system. Perhaps there's a state coordinate system that's more appropriate, and there's a system already built that requires that. So maybe there's a Florida NAD83 Albers system that we're going to select there, and that's going to be the one that we're going to export into. So let us spell park right. And again, check out the fields that we're exporting, that we're including, and we'll click OK. It quickly does it. And we're going to close the attribute table for landmarks, and we're going to open the attribute table for parks. And we'll have 104 records, and we'll have 104 points. So that data has been exported. Just the parks, they've been isolated. You've created your own unique layer. And let's check the properties to make sure that the spatial reference is the NAD83 Florida Albers in meters, that projection. So, so everything worked out well in this case. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again. Thanks for watching.